Hey guys, my name is Lily and today I'm in the beautiful forest again, as you can see. And yeah, today I want to talk to you about the top survival skill that you can obtain for wilderness survival. So stay tuned. Okay guys, let's imagine you are lost in the forest and yeah, you cannot make it home before dark and you have to stay in the forest overnight. So what is the most important survival skill that would help you out? The answer is you want to make a fire, okay? You want to have a fire if you're staying out in the wilderness. Sorry, that's grass. So you want to have a fire if you're staying in the wilderness, especially if you have to stay overnight. So without a fire in the wilderness, it will be very uncomfortable, not only because it's cold, but also because you're going to get afraid a little bit. So a fire is not only giving you warmth, but it also has a very positive psychological aspect, and it will help you get through the night much easier. So I think we agree that probably the most important survival skills is making a fire. And most people have, matches on them or a lighter, something like that. But imagine that something happens, you get lost in the wild, you lose your stuff. Maybe you were on a canoe trip or something and you tripped over with the boat and then you end up with nothing except the things that you have in your pockets. So let's assume that you don't have a lighter with you or matches or any other kind of fire making device, and let's say we still want to make a fire by friction. So the bow drill is really one of the most important skills that you can learn. Alright guys, so now for friction fire, what do we need? First of all, we need a suitable wood, soft wood without resin, okay? Don't go for hardwoods because they are really too hard and it's hard to make to get a good amber with them. It's not entirely impossible, but with soft woods it is much easier. So now I'm searching for hazel or willow or basswood, something like this, poplar even. Poplar is great. It's probably one of the best materials for this. Okay, I found this very open spot here. So now let's go and see if I can find an adequate wood in the shrub here. This is a willow, okay? And you can identify the willow shrub by the leaves. And most of the willows have lanceolate leaves like these, okay? And yeah, it's super soft and it's one of the best woods for a bow drill. Alright guys, so today I'm using my APO-1 again, and if you're interested in this model, make sure that you check out my website. The link is in the description below. And now let's cut off one of the sticks here, and I need it for the bow. And yeah, for the bow you should collect a stick which is green and which is not too thick but also not too thin. So it has to be a little bit of a stability, but it still should be flexing enough to have a little bit of more tension on the string, okay? So now let's search for a good piece here. Okay, here I have a good stick, which is not too thick, not too thin. It flexes a little bit, but it's a little bit too long for my arm, so the stick should be about the size of your arm. So I have to cut it off here. Alright guys, I found this dead stick here and it seems to be really dry. Let's see if I can just... that's a good sign. So if a piece of wood breaks like this and if it doesn't bend a lot, it's a really good sign that it's really dry. So that's the first criteria that you want to take a look at. And the second thing is you want to be sure that this is really dry wood. So if you touch it, you can feel the moisture, and also if that's not enough, you can use the lip method. So basically you give the piece of wood a kiss, and then you know Like if it feels moist, then you can't take it, you know. But this should be fine, I believe. But you really have to be sure that it's a pretty straight piece. You don't want to have any piece which is, I don't know, like some kind of twisted and curled and not straight. So that's really important. So as you can see, I'm using the power cut a lot. It's the cut where you face the blade outwards and you only cut with your shoulders basically. And this allows you to make really strong cuts with less effort. Okay, that's nice. That's pretty good actually. Fairly dry. And if you're not sure, it's always wise to take more than one piece with you, you know. Like if you find a couple of dead branches, take all of them with you, because you never know if there's a residual moisture inside of the wood. This here is pretty moist now outside, but at the inside it's dry. There are a couple of buzzards above me. Pretty awesome. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I found this grass here. Let's see if it's dry. No, it's not. It's super wet. And yeah, it has rained yesterday, so it's a real challenge to find some dry tinder. Yeah, that's a really good piece of willow, I believe. Yeah, it's willow. It's wet at the outside, but at the inside it's dry, so it should work for the bow drill. Okay, this is it, guys. All I need for a bow drill. This is going to be the fireboard, or this here, and here I have a second spindle. And now let's go and carve the fireboard and everything that we need. This is going to be the fireboard. It doesn't have to be too thick, so about 1 centimeter is the right thickness. And I carved away a little bit of the outer wood to make sure to get to the inner wood. And the inner wood is actually more dry than outside, of course. And yeah, it's also important that this is a board, so it shouldn't be just a stick. Half of the size would be still possible technically, but it should not move too much, you know. It should be really stable on the ground, and this is why you want to have it a little bit thicker, okay? So don't make it too thin and too narrow. Make it thick enough that it's stable on the ground. So this is my fireboard. Alright, so for the spindle it should be about 1.5 centimeters thick, and the thicker you make it, the more friction you will have, which is good for the dust that is collecting. However, you need also a lot of more power to drill a thicker spindle. So a thinner one doesn't take so much effort, but also a thinner one, there's always a little bit of a risk that the cordage, you know, doesn't grip the stick anymore because it's just too thin. So if you're making this, make sure that you get the right size of spindle. That's really important. Okay, how are we looking? Okay, now for the bearing block. So if you are a beginner, I highly recommend that you take a skateboard wheel or a rollerblade wheel for the bearing block at first. This is just so that you learn the general movement, okay? And once you can do it very well with the rollerblade wheel, which is the perfect bearing block, then you can switch over to taking a stone instead or taking wood instead. Now let's just get the bow drill started. I first have to string my bow, and I'm just using a piece of paracord. And some people might say, well, not everybody has paracord on them, right? But most of the people have shoelaces, and you can just take your shoelaces instead of the paracord. But today I don't want to ruin my shoelaces, and this is why I'm taking this piece of paracord here. So I make sure that I have a little bit of tension on the string, and then I wrap around the tag end and hold it with my hand, okay? Then I take my spindle and let's see if this is enough of tension. This seems to be a really good tension, but it could be even more. Now we are ready for the final drill, and it's important that you put a piece of wood underneath the fireboard because this will collect the dust. Okay, first I'm going to warm up the spindle at moderate speed. Okay, now I see some sawdust building up at the notch, and I just continue. Okay, and now I want to increase the speed and get some really nice smoke. Oopsie. Oh my god, did you see this? The fireboard broke. I almost got it. I had some nice dust going on, but it did not ignite. So now I have to make a new hole. Oh my god, it's out! Okay, now. Oh my god. Okay. This doesn't want to ignite. I mean, it should have already. This means that this wood is too moist at the inside. Okay, now let's try this piece here. Today it's unlucky Lilly day. Oh my god. I had a flame, okay? It was short, but it was there. And my tinder bundle was just too small. Ah! Okay. I think this is amber number 4. Finally. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm at fire, like a cave woman. Yeah, oh my god, what a feeling. Wow, sorry. I had such a hard time, I mean, really. Okay guys, I really had a hard time with my bow drill today. And it needed me a couple of drills until I could get an amber, because the first wood that I used was pretty wet actually, and then I changed to another wood which was more dry. Sometimes you don't know, you have to try, you know. And yeah, then I needed a couple of tries to get the tinder bundle burning, and that's also normal because the tinder here around here is pretty wet today because it was raining yesterday. And it needs a couple of times, you know, of the amber inside until it really dries out, and after the 4th try or 5th try it was dry enough that it would catch a flame. So sometimes it just takes longer, and yeah, it's really important that you are persistent and that you don't give up, of course. Now there's something else that I want to show you before I end the video. This here. This is a new product that I'm selling on my website. It's the APO-1 alcohol stove. So this is for everybody who doesn't want to make a bow drill fire. And yeah, if you want to put together a small survival kit in your home, this is one item that you should get. So let's say for example there's a blackout, you don't have electricity, then this is an option how you still can cook your food, your rice or whatever you want to cook. Okay, that's a really good option for your home. And also for the outside. So sometimes people just don't want to make a campfire because they are too lazy, or they just want to go hiking and move on quickly. And then this is an option as well for all of the hikers. And sometimes, you know, even for me, I like to make campfires, but sometimes when it's really dry, and sometimes it's forbidden to make a fire. So in case that you want to prevent a wildfire, so this is definitely a safer option than, for example, an open campfire. And this is small and lightweight. It fits into every pack. And as I said before, you can find it on my website. The link is in the description below. Stay tuned and all the best.